Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Om Shri Ramachandraya Namaha. Atulita Baladhamam Hema Shailabhadeham Danujavana Krishanum Jnaninam Agraganyam Sakala Gunanidhanam Vanaranam Adhisham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatan Namami. Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatan Namami. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Om Dhyayami Chinmayanandam Gurudevam Mahamatim Premapurnam Kriyashilam Sada Lokahite Ratam Kripalum Sundarakaram Samartham Satyadarshinam Vacha Tattva Prakashinya Shokamoha Vinashinam. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Namah Shri Tulasidasa Sadvarishtaya Dhimate Puritam Hridayam Yena Rama Premamrite Name. Om Shri Tulasidasaya Namaha. Hari Om, a very warm welcome. In fact, today is such a portion, I myself don't want to read the Chaupai. But what to do? Having taken up the sadhana of going through Ramayana, we have to read, you see. And I have to welcome you for this session. Though the content of the session is not a welcome, content. Raja Dasharatha, in a manner of saying, convinces Kaikeyi, who actually acts as though she is convinced by taking slowly one by one of all the ornaments and she is wearing. And now after perseverance. Please ask, please ask. She says, I don't know whether you will be able to give me that boon. Why? You told me several times so many things you will give, you have not done. You told me you will give 2 boons, still you have not given me. Raja said, I had forgotten, you should have asked me. Ask me for, why if 2 you ask for 4? She says, you first give me 2, then we will see. Now see how Kaikeyi speaks. सुनहु प्राण प्रिय भावत जी का देहु एक बर बरत ही टीका मागवु दूसर बर कर जोरी पुर बहुनाथ मनोरथ मोरी तापस बेश विशेषी उदासी 14 बरस राम बनवासी सुनि मृदु बचन भूप ही सोकु ससिकर छुअत बिकल जिमि कोकु गयउ सहमि नहीं कछु कही आवा जनु सचान बन झपटे उलावा बिबरन भयउ निपट नर पालु दामिनी हनिहु मनहु तरुतालु माथे हाथ मूदि दोउ लोचन तनु धरि सोचु लाग जनु सोचन मोर मनोरथु सुर तरु फूला फरत करिनि जिमि हतेउ समूला अवधउ जारी कीन्हि कैकेयी दीनि सि अचल विपति केनेयी कवनी अवसर का भयवु गयवु नारी विश्वास जोग सिद्धि फल समय जिमि जति अविद्यानाश सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Pranapriya, my beloved Lord, listen, सुना हूं भावत जी का you ask me to tell what pleases my heart that you will do, and this is what is going to please my heart. Ensure that. देहु एक बर भरत ही टीका। हे प्राणप्रिय, एक बर भरत ही टीका देहु. With one of the boons, please coronate Bharata as the crown prince of Ayodhya. Dasharatha was shocked. But however, he endured that shock because he is now worried what is going to come up. Magavu dusara bara karajori with folded hands. Magavu dusara bara, I will now ask you for the second boon. Pura bahu natha manoratha mori. Hoy Natha, my Lord, please fulfill this desire as the second boon. तापस बेश विशेषी उदासी. In the form of a hermit, as a sannyasi, completely detached from the world, 14 barasa Ramu Banavasi. For 14 years, 14, 4, dasa, 10. 14 years, Rama must go to Vanavas with the attire of sannyasi, completely detached from the world. Suni mridu bachana bhupa hiya soku. The king was completely shocked, as he felt as though he was devastated with the so-called gentle words of Kaikeyi. Sasikara chuvata bikala jimiko. Just as Chakravaka bird. That bird, as though it got so pained with the first beam ray of the moon, it used to struggle and tremble. Similarly, Raja Dasharatha, he was so taken aback. Gayav sahamina hi kachu kahiyava. He was completely, what do you call it? Completely dismayed. He was almost thrown apart, in a manner of saying, within. And he became absolutely, he could not open his mouth to speak. His complete, that ability to speak was stopped. Janu sajana bana jhapita ulava. Like that bird we were discussing about, that hawk and bird. It was like that bird which saw the hawk in front of it, which will come and eat it now. Like that he felt. Bibarana bhayavu nipata narapalu. He became pale. Like one lightning came and hit the tree, and the tree got burnt, and all the color was vanished, as though all the brightness in the face of Dasharatha was completely vanished. Damini hanevu manahu talu. He kept both the hands in his forehead, and he was probably beating his hand. Why? Because he allowed her to speak like that. Mathe hata modi do lochana. By closing his eyes with both the hands, he started almost crying. Tanudhari soch laga dhanu lochana. He was fully struck by grief. It was as though grief struck the very grief itself. To that extent, he was completely shattered. Mora manorata suratar phula. He said, the complete, the celestial tree of my desire had actually started blooming with beautiful flowers, with the joy of the entire city. He was so happy, but what happened? Bharata karina jimi he hatevu samula. It as though one she elephant, a feminine elephant, came into that grove and uprooted all the trees and damaged it in all ways and threw it hither and thither. That is how he felt. Avadhavu jari kinhi Kaikeyi. She has not only dislodged Raja Dasharatha, disturbed Raja Dasharatha, completely disastrous result has happened. But at the same time, she has also isolated Ayodhya. She has detached Ayodhya from the very concept of joy itself. She has deprived Ayodhya of all the joy. Deen hi se achala bipati kaini. The very foundation of joy was gone, and she laid the foundation of perpetual misfortune, eternal and everlasting misfortune, as though that is how Dasharatha felt. Kavane avasara ka bhayavu. At this beautiful hour of auspiciousness, what an inauspicious thing has happened. What has happened? He was feeling so, terrible. Gayamunari Biswasa. He said, I had trusted her so much. That is why I loved her to the core. But she has shattered all my dreams. And in fact, now no more can I trust a woman. To that extent, he says, Gayonari Biswasa, I have lost all trust in woman. Joga Siddhi Phala Samaya Jimi Jatihi Avidyanas. He says, a very, very, well convinced, committed, dedicated, devoted yogi who worked very hard for gaining the realization of the supreme reality, at one moment, avidya, ignorance, nescience they call, it has come and shattered that yogi and threw him apart into pieces so that he will not be able to gain that realization. He was almost at the threshold. Just as Ramchandraji was brought almost to the threshold, he has to just, that night has to pass and he will be coronated. But at that moment, Kaikeyi completely shattered everything. And now see how she speaks. What an amount of stern lady she must be. See the way she speaks. Ehi bidhiravu manahi mana jhaka dekhi kubhati kumati mana maka bharatu kiravura putana hohi आने हूँ मोल बेसाही की मोही जो सुनी सरु असलाग तुम्हारे काहे न बोलहु बचनु संभारे देहु उतरु अनुकरहु की नाही सत्य संध तुम रघुकुल माही देन कहेहु अब जनि बरु देहु तजहु सत्य जग अपज सुलेहु सत्य सराही कहेहु बरु देना जानेहु लेहि मागी जबेना सिबिद धीचि बलि जो कछु बाशा तनु धनु तजेहु बचन पनु राखा अति कठु बचन कहति कैकेयी मानहु लोन जरे पर देहि धर्म धुरंदर धीर धरी नयन उघारे राय सिरुधुनि लीन्हि उसास अस मारे सि मोहि कुठाय एहि विधि राहु. The king in this way, manahi mana jhaka, he was mourning in himself. He was so pained. Deke kubhati kumati mana makha. Seeing this condition of the wicked queen in her heart, she was so wicked. The queen said, because Dasharatha could not speak at all, he was almost fallen there. Earlier she had fallen, now Dasharatha had fallen probably. Bharatu ki raura putana hohi. What do you think? You think Bharata is not your son? Kaikeyi asks Dasharatha, Anehu mola bisahi ki mohi? Did you purchase me for money and bring me here? I am just one servant maid. I am a duly wedded wife of yours. Therefore, Bharata is also your son. Jo suni saru asalaga tumhare. If my words has pierced like an arrow in your ears, if it is so sharp, it is so painful, kahe na bolahu bachanu sambhare. Why did you make promises then? You should not have made promises. You should have been careful while speaking at that time. At that time you spoke, you said, I will give you 2 boons at that time, and now you say, why 2? You asked for 4. You should have thought of it before. Having said that, You have to follow it. Why? One, you are from the Raghukula Vamsha. Therefore, in Raghukula, yesterday we saw in the verse 1, Pranana Jai, you let the life go. Bachanana Jai, words cannot be taken back. That is the glory of Raghukula. Dehu utaru anu karahu nahi. Tell me now, clearly tell me, yes or no. Will you do this or you will decline doing it? The promise which you had given. Satya sandhatuma Raghukula mahi. You are a person who are true to the Raghukula, in the race of Raghu, and for whom everything is secondary than the promised words. They are primary. It is more than life itself. Dena kahe ab jani barud dehu. Do one thing. You refuse the boons what you had promised to me. Take it back. Don't give me those boons. Tejahu satya jaga apaja suklehi. You give up that truth, abandon the truth, and then what? You will get some ill fame from the world. How does it matter to you? The one who has taken back the promise, it is no point. It doesn't matter. Anything doesn't matter to you. Therefore, you will gain ill fame from the world. Take it. Everybody will say, you want to see who is a liar? Here, see, King Dasharatha. He gave promise and he did not fulfill it. Everybody will talk. Take it. Satyasarahi kahehu barudena. You were talking tall about your promise. You talk so much about truth, nobility, character, etc. etc. You speak so much, and especially when it comes to Rama, oh God, every moment to talk about Rama, to talk about truth, to talk about nobility, character, everything. Oh, my Rama is like that. And now you have sworn in the name of Rama. What are you doing? Jani huleihi magipchabena. Now see, what did I ask you? You think I'll come and ask you, please can you give me one handful of parched grain? You think that 2 boons I will use to ask for some peanuts from your side? Am I that unintelligent lady? Now look at the names she is taking. Sibidadhi chibali jo kachu bhasha tanu dhanu tajevu bachana panuraka. She said, Raja Shibi, Rishi Dadichi, and Bali Chakravarti, they all redeemed their promised word. Meaning what? They stood up to their promise by giving up everything, and at last they even gave up their life for the sake of keeping up the promise. What are you doing? You are taking back your promise? You are going to disqualify those promises? Raja Shibi. Who is Raja Shibi? This Raja was a very pious, very noble, very generous king. Generous to the core. He would give anything to anybody. To that extent, he was a very generous king. Now the gods, these demigods we generally say, but otherwise gods, celestial beings, they wanted to put him to test. If they were in the world, probably they would have been employed, isn't it? Of course, they are well employed, they have got their own, portfolios to take care. But at the same time, they are all like playful, many times they are playful. But if you see in the stories, all their playful activities always ends in Shubham. That is very important. We have to take care of that also. Ramayana also one such thing. Now the gods wanted to test this Shibhi Raja. So Indra and Agni were deputed to test. So Indra became I think Agni became a pigeon and Indra became a hawk. They took the form of a pigeon and a hawk. Then they came to Shibi. How? Now the pigeon was flying very fast and the hawk was, behind, following, wanting to eat away that pigeon. Now that pigeon came and sat in the lap of Raja Shibi. And it, as though it had a dialogue, it struck a dialogue with Raja Shibi. Please protect me, help me, trahimam, pahimam. Raja Shibi was such a person, one who comes surrendering, he will do anything to protect them. So when the hawk came, he said, what do you want? Why are you following? Now it has come under my protection. Therefore, you can't eat. But the hawk said, that is not my problem. It is my prey now. I have to eat that. Therefore, you can't stop. Well, this is my dharma, that is your dharma. What you do with, I don't know. That is my prey. I have to eat that pigeon. So, Shibi thought he is also right. The hawk is also right because its dharma is to eat birds. So, I cannot snatch away its food. At the same time, I cannot leave the pigeon because it has come under my Sharanagati. It has taken Sharanagati in me. So he thought what to do. Then he said, now you tell me what should I do. You are also correct. You are not wrong. Pigeon has come under my control now. I cannot allow the pigeon. So what? Then the hawk said, I need that much of flesh of the pigeon. Then I will leave the pigeon. He said, okay. I will give you my flesh itself. Therefore, he himself opened up his flesh from his thigh probably initially and then he drew lot of flesh. Now the question is, it should that much of flesh means then probably one weighing scale was arranged and this pigeon was put on one scale and then he drew flesh and put on the other scale. As much as he drew the flesh and was continuously putting it on the scale, pigeon seems to have been very, very heavy. That scale would never come up. The scale is always up where the flesh is being put. Finally, Raja Shibi thought, my God, I will give myself for that. Therefore, he climbed on that scale and then he took the sword to cut his head also and place it. At that time, both of them revealed their true identity. And they praised Shibi Raja so much and then he was brought back to his original form and he was praised and all the celestial beings praised. That is the generosity of Raja Shibi. To keep up the word which he had given to that pigeon that I will protect you, he was ready to give his life itself. Hey Dasharatha, you know about your ancestors? Think. What about Rishi Dadichi? What happened? There was one Vitrasura. And this Vitrasura also was very, very powerful and he conquered all the three worlds. And then what did they do? He almost drove them away from the heaven also. Then they all approached Bhagavan Vishnu. And Vishnu said, you can kill him only if Brahmaji, the creator, prepares a Brahmastra with the bones of this Dadichi Rishi. Brahmastra out of the bones of Rishi Dadichi alone can kill this Vitrasura. Therefore, now what to do? Now, as always, the scapegoat Indra was sent. And then Indra came and he said, this is what it is. It is only through your bones, and otherwise the world will not be free from this Rakshasa Vitrasura. And the most generous Rishi, Dadiji, said, definitely, of what use is this body? If this body is of any use, let it be useful. And he kind of gave his bones. With that bone, Creator Brahmaji prepared various weapons. One of the weapons, it is said, Vajrastra. And then other weapons also he prepared. And it took about 360 days battle to finally win over Vitrasura. And then he was killed. Meaning, the point here is the generosity for the word. Meaning what? You take it. And then he gave. They were ready to give their life itself for the sake of something good. And the third one is Bali Chakravarti, all of us know. In Bali Chakravarti, you see, Bali Chakravarti also was he was a very generous Raja, but he was very arrogant. The mother of gods was Aditi. And Vishnu, Mahavishnu, they all approached Vishnu, Bhagavan, do give us some relief. So Vishnu said, I myself will come and eliminate Bali. So Vishnu Bhagavan took the form of Vamadeva, son of Aditi Devata. And Vamadeva comes to Bali Chakravarti. And Bali Chakravarti had one particular, what do you call it as, norm, or one way of life where whoever asks whatever he would give. So Vamdevji came and then he asked for alms from Bali Chakravarti. Bali Chakravarti said, such a small vatu, ask whatever you want. You know, this ahankara is of that kind. I can do anything. This is possible. Why not possible? Ask whatever you want. That shall be yours. Word given. Promise given. Whatever you ask, it will be yours. So Bali Chakravarti was very, very happy to give something to somebody. And then Vamadevji, we know, asked for 3 steps of land. What? Only 3 steps. Ask for more. He said, no, you first give these 3. Later I will think about it. He said, okay, taken. You take whatever you want, wherever you want. And we know Vamdevji immediately grew up in size and he put 1 step in the entire universe. And the other step, a complete celestial world was also covered. And 3rd step, he didn't have place to put. Then he asked Bali Chakravarti, where shall I put my 3rd step? He said, he removed his cap. He said, please put your 3rd step on my head. And Vamadevji put his 3rd step on Bali Chakravarti and he was pushed into the earth. And thus the end of Bali Chakravarti came. But please note, Bali Chakravarti kept up his word. Now look at that. Raja Shibhi, Rishi Dadichi and Bali Chakravarti. All of these people, they kept their word. They gave themselves. They gave their life for that. And here is you who are crying after giving boons. You should not have given. Now you will have ill fame if you take back your word, and if you don't give me these boons, you will gain only ill fame. Do you want that? Are you ready for that? Atikatu bachana kahati Kaikeyi. In this way, Kaikeyi, threw poison in the form of words. Atikatu bachana. Manahu lo najare paradei. As though applying salt. Earlier also we had taken this example, applying salt on the burns. It was so powerful, so painful. Dharma dhurandhara dhira dhari nayana ughare raya. This Dharma dhurandhara dhira dhari, great Dharma Shila Raja Dasharatha, who lived a righteous life all through his life, and such a Raja was so powerful. His prowess is known all 14 worlds. Such a Raja was almost, fallen down. He had lost all his vitality. But slowly, Nayana Ughare Raya, slowly he opened his eyes. And then he slowly not only opened his eyes, he slowly took some courage. Sirudhuni lini usasa asi. He opened his eyes. He saw probably for a pillar and he started beating his head on the pillar. What has he done? What have I done? Marasi mohi kuthaya. And he said, she has stung me in my vital part. What is a vital part? Rama alone was Dasharatha's vital part. There was nothing beyond Rama for Dasharatha. And what has she done? She has stung Dasharatha in his vital part, meaning she has stung on Rama. He would not have bothered if she had done anything to him. Even if she had killed him, he would have allowed her to kill him. It would not have much bothered him. Probably would have been gladly would have given himself instead of Rama. But look at the way Kaikeyi played the role. She stung him properly. Now, not only he is stung and he is suffering, the entire Ayodhya's joy will come to an end. He has never told Rama's joy will come to an end. He said Ayodhya's joy will come to an end. It has been pushed to misfortune. Perennial problem. And Dasharatha was in such a pain. He is even wondering how to respond. When such problems come, very many of us, we may not have such a type of problem, but our part is very interesting. Even the smallest problem come, we fall down as though Dasharatha fell down when he heard Rama to go to forest. For petty things also we feel. But look at Dasharatha. He was in pain. Now he has to respond. She's been asking, tell me, will you accept it or not? Tell me. Think. Look at the condition into which Dasharatha has fallen. Is any of our problem, any of our pain, anywhere closer to this? Think. If only we had such a problem, what would be our condition in life? Think. We will actually heart attack. We would have gone only. Is it not? Now see how Dasharatha is also full of agony, full of pain and suffering. How he responds. And this shock has put Dasharatha down. He requires some time to, rejuvenate himself, collect himself, compose himself and respond to Kaikeyi. Therefore, we will leave him tonight and then make him respond in our tomorrow's session. All right. सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।